Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about your amazing digestive system. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. You've probably heard the playground warning that if you accidentally swallow a piece of chewing gum, it will sit in your stomach for 7 years before it digests. It's a terrifying thought for anyone who's ever gulped down a piece of bubblegum, but is it actually scientifically accurate? What do you think? Does gum really stick inside your stomach for 7 years? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is peristalsis. That's Peristalsis. Peristalsis is the series of wave-like muscle contractions that move food through the digestive tract. It starts in the esophagus where you swallow, and it continues all the way through the stomach and intestines. Think of it like squeezing a nearly empty tube of toothpaste from the bottom to the top to get the paste out. Your smooth muscles contract behind the food to push it forward and relax in front of it to open the path. This involuntary movement is powerful and consistent to make sure that food always travels in the right direction regardless of gravity. It comes from the Greek word peristaltikos, which roughly translates to wrapping around or compressing, which is kind of fitting because the muscles literally wrap around the tubes of your digestive system to compress the contents. Because peristalsis relies on muscular contraction rather than gravity, it allows for some pretty amazing feats. For example, because of this wrapping and squeezing motion, you would technically be able to eat and swallow food even if you were hanging upside down or floating in the zero-gravity environment of space. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about your digestive system. Number 1. While it's called your small intestine, it has a massive surface area. If you were to just measure the length of the small intestine, it would be impressive enough at about 22 feet long, but it gets bigger. Inside the intestine, it's lined with tiny finger-like projections called villi and even smaller ones called microvilli. These folds and protrusions are designed to maximize the contact the intestine has with the food to absorb as many nutrients as possible. Research using precise 3D scans suggests that if you could flatten out all those folds in your small intestine, the surface area would be about 32 square meters, or about half the size of a badminton court. It's an amazing example of biological efficiency, allowing a relatively small organ to do a massive amount of work. Without these folds, you would need an intestine hundreds of feet long to get the same amount of nutrition from your lunch. And this structure also explains why certain digestive conditions can be so draining on your energy levels. For example, in conditions like celiac disease, the body reacts to gluten by flattening these villi. And when you lose that surface area, your body just can't absorb all the fuel it needs to keep going, no matter how much you eat. And that's why these tiny microvilli are absolutely essential. Number 2, your stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve metal. The primary digestive fluid in your stomach is hydrochloric acid, an incredibly potent substance that helps break down food and kill harmful bacteria. On the pH scale, which measures how acidic something is, stomach acid falls between 1.5 and 3.5, which puts it in the same category as battery acid. In laboratory settings, scientists have found that this acid is actually corrosive enough to dissolve razor blades or zinc, although you definitely shouldn't try that at home. So, if stomach acid can eat through metal, what stops it from dissolving your stomach itself? Great question. Glad I asked. To keep this powerful acid from eating right through your body, your stomach creates a new lining of protective mucus every few days to keep itself safe. This mucus neutralizes that acid before it touches the stomach walls. It's a constant battle of chemistry happening inside your body right now. Your body is producing a super dangerous acid while simultaneously producing the perfect antidote to contain it. Unfortunately, not every part of the body has this shield, which is why heartburn can hurt so much. When the stomach acid accidentally splashes up into the esophagus, the tube connecting your throat to your stomach, it causes a burning sensation because the esophagus doesn't have that heavy-duty mucus lining. Number 3. Over your lifetime, you produce enough saliva to fill a small swimming pool. Digestion actually begins in your mouth, and your salivary glands get the process started. The average person produces between 2 and 4 pints of saliva every single day to help moisten food and break down starches. When you add that up over the course of the average lifespan, it's estimated that a human will produce about 25,000 quarts of saliva. That's roughly 6,000 gallons, enough to fill a typical round backyard pool or a really large hot tub to the brim. But please don't do that at home. It's gross. And saliva is not just water. It's actually rather chemically complex. It has electrolytes, mucus, antibacterial compounds, and various enzymes. One of these enzymes, amylase, begins breaking down sugar before you even swallow, which is why bread starts to taste sweet if you chew it for a long time. Saliva also has a surprising superpower. It contains a natural painkiller called opioorphin, which is actually stronger than morphine. This helps explain why animals instinctively want to lick a wound when they get a cut. The saliva not only helps wash away dirt and bacteria, but the chemical compounds within it can actively soothe the pain and accelerate the healing of soft tissues in the mouth. Number 4. Your digestive system has its own nervous system that functions like a second brain. We often talk about having a gut feeling, and scientifically, that's more accurate than you might think. The digestive system contains the enteric nervous system, or ENS, which consists of about 100 million nerve cells lining the gastrointestinal tract. That's more neurons than you have in your spinal cord, allowing the gut to operate independently of your brain to manage digestion. Also, this sort of second brain in your gut produces about 95% of your body's serotonin, the chemical responsible for regulating mood and happiness, proving that a healthy gut is directly linked to a happy mind. Scientists call the communication between your head and your gut the gut-brain axis, and it works both ways. Just as your brain tells your stomach to digest, your stomach can send distress signals to your brain that change your mood or thinking patterns. This connection is also the reason that you get those butterflies in your stomach before a big test or presentation. When you're nervous, your brain triggers a fight or flight response, which diverts blood away from the digestive system into your muscles. Your second brain in the gut senses this sudden shutdown and sends those fluttery, queasy signals back to your head, physically manifesting your anxiety in your belly. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: the appendix isn't useless as it was once believed. It actually serves as a sort of safe house for good bacteria. For a long time, doctors and scientists believed the appendix was a vestigial organ, meaning it was left over from evolution that no longer served a purpose. But modern research suggests that this tiny pouch attached to the large intestine actually acts as a safe house or reservoir for beneficial gut bacteria. If you get sick and your digestive system is flushed out, the appendix can release its stored good bacteria to help repopulate the gut and get you healthy again. Researchers at Duke University Medical Center discovered that the appendix has a high concentration of lymphoid tissue, which is crucial for immune response. To be fair, though, all those doctors and scientists who considered the appendix a vestigial organ weren't entirely off. It would appear that our appendix now is much smaller and a bit different from how it was in ancient history. In many herbivores, the appendix, or the cecum, is much larger, and it's used to help digest tough plant materials like bark and leaves. While ours has shrunk over thousands of years as our diets changed to include more cooked foods and meat, it didn't disappear completely. It just repurposed itself from a digestion tank into a backup system for our gut health. Now for some news you can use. Today's tip is a little step that can actually have big impacts. Take time to slowly chew and savor your food. This will not only help improve your enjoyment of the meal, it will help with portion control and digestion to help you get the most out of a meal in really every sense. Digestion is a demanding energy process for the body, and you can give your system a massive head start simply by chewing your food more thoroughly. The goal should be to chew your food until it loses its texture, which increases the surface area for enzymes to work and signals your body to prepare for digestion. When you rush and swallow large chunks, your stomach has to work overtime to break them down, which can lead to bloating, indigestion, and a lower nutrient absorption. Taking time to chew not only helps your stomach, but also helps you avoid overeating. This happens because there's communication lag between your gut and your brain. It actually takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to chemically signal that it's satisfied. If you eat too fast, you might keep eating past the point of fullness before that message arrives. By chewing slowly, you bridge that gap, allowing your brain time to catch up and tell you to put the fork down at the perfect time. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, is it true that chewing gum really stays in your stomach for 7 years? This one's a fallacy. While it is true that your body cannot fully digest the synthetic resin found in gum, it doesn't sit in your stomach for years. Your digestive system is very efficient at moving things along, so the gum moves through the small and large intestines just like fiber or other indigestible materials. It typically passes through your system and exits the body within a few days, not 7 years. So if you've been swallowing your bubblegum, you're not really getting any nutrients out of it, but it's not going to do much harm to you either. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about the digestive system with me today. Be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.